Have you ever looked out the window one quiet morning and realized the world has grown smaller? Not in size, but in feeling? That the phone doesn't ring as much, that the streets you used to walk farther than before, that the people you once saw every week now only visit in memories? After turning 81, there's a shift, a quiet, honest shift that no one prepares you for. People talk about the usual things, ages and medications, canes and stairs, but they don't talk about what truly changes. And I wish someone had told me sooner. Because it's not just your body that changes. It's your place in the world. It's how people treat you. It's how the silence settles in a little heavier. In this video, I want to share with you two of the most important and hardest truths I've come to understand about aging. Truths that aren't meant to scare you, but to wake you up, to remind you that your life still matters, even as the noise around you fades. The first truth is this: the world of social connection, your friendships, your family rhythms, your daily exchanges, they begin to shrink. And it doesn't always come with warning signs. One day you're surrounded by familiar voices. The next, you're counting the days since someone last called. It's not because people don't love you anymore. It's because their lives keep moving. They get busier. They assume you're okay. And slowly, without realizing it, you spend more time with your memories than with people. I used to have Sunday dinners. Neighbors would stop by. My brother and I would play chess every Thursday night. Now the house is quiet. Not sad, just quiet. Sometimes I find myself replaying old laughter in my head just to fill the silence. And you know what? That's okay. It's not weakness. It's the cost of living long enough to see people drift. But that doesn't mean you have to disappear too. I've learned that even one or two real connections, a neighbor who waves, a granddaughter who sends a message, can mean everything. You don't need a crowd. You just need someone who sees you. And if that person isn't around anymore, then write a letter. Call someone. Even if you haven't spoken in years, the depth of one honest connection after 80 is more powerful than 1,000 casual hellos. And most of all, stay connected to yourself, to your own story, because when others forget, your story still holds meaning. That's why I say, share it, speak it, even if it's just to the mirror. Now the second truth: after 81, small health problems are no longer small. A skipped meal can drain your energy for days. A short walk can leave your legs aching for a week. A bruise from bumping the counter might take a month to fade. Our bodies, once so quick to recover, off balance. The body's margin for error has shrunk, and nobody really tells you that. Not the doctor, not your friends, not even your own family. They just assume you're tired. But it's more than tired. It's your body saying, please don't rush me. Please treat me gently. I met a man named George last year. He was 82, same as me. And he told me a story I never forgot. He went out to do some gardening, just like always. A couple hours in the sun. But he forgot to drink water. That night he fainted. Turned out he was dehydrated. Had to spend 4 days in the hospital. All because of something he would have laughed off at 60. And he told me, that was the moment I realized I couldn't live the way I used to. I had to listen to my body, not fight it, and that stuck with me. You see, growing older isn't about surrendering, it's about adapting. It's about learning how to protect the strength you still have by not pretending it's limitless. We aren't as resilient as we once were, and that's okay. You are not weak because you need more rest. You are wise because you know when to stop. I used to be proud of pushing through, of never complaining, but now I'm proud of noticing, of sitting down when I need to, of drinking water before I feel thirsty, because that's how I keep going. That's how I stay alive, not just in body, but in dignity. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time someone looked you in the eye? Not just glanced your way, but truly saw you? Not as an old man or a sweet old lady, but as a person with stories, memories, thoughts that still matters. I'm asking because something strange happens after 81. The room gets quieter, yes, but not just in sound. It gets quieter in how the world responds to you. You speak, but your words don't always land. You enter a room, but the energy doesn't shift. And you wonder, did I disappear and no one told me? This is the third truth. One that caught me off guard more than any ache or diagnosis ever could. It's the quiet loss of visibility in public life. Not out of cruelty, not because people are bad, but because the world is in a hurry. And in its rush, it forgets to slow down and see what took a lifetime to build. After 81, people stop asking your opinion at family dinners. At the store, they ask your caregiver instead of you. Strangers smile at you kindly, but their eyes move on quickly. Even among family, you might find yourself repeating things, waiting longer to be heard, being spoken over instead of spoken with. And I want to say this clearly. You are not invisible. The world might be moving too fast, but you are still here. You still matter. But it's easy to forget that when your stories are no longer asked for, when your wisdom is treated like dust on a bookshelf, something valuable maybe, but untouched. Let me tell you about Eleanor, a dear friend of mine from church. She's 83, bright mind, sharper memory than me. One afternoon, we were sitting on a bench at the park and she said, "I feel like I'm fading, not in body, in presence. I sit at the dinner table with my kids and they just talk over me. I start a story and someone cuts in with theirs. I love them, but I feel like a ghost sometimes." That word, ghost, that haunted me. This happens to so many of us. We fade in people's eyes before we fade in our own. But here's what I told her, and what I tell myself too. Your worth isn't determined by how often others listen. It's determined by how deeply your truth still lives inside you. The world might see age before it sees you, but the people who matter, those who take the time to really sit with you, sometimes they're younger people, sometimes they're old friends. Sometimes they're strangers who find your words exactly when they need them. So speak anyway, write it down, tell the story. Your life has not been silent. Don't let it end in silence. Being seen is not always about volume, it's about presence. And I promise you, your presence is still powerful. You may not be the loudest voice in the room, but you carry the most history, the most endurance, the most truth. And if no one has told you that recently, let me be the one who does. You are seen, you are valued, and your voice is not forgotten. Now let's talk about the fourth reality. One that hurts in a different way, not from the inside, but from watching what's outside disappear. It's the narrowing of your daily life. When I was 65, I used to run errands, go to the cafe every Sunday, help my neighbor mow the lawn. I had routines, little adventures, places that knew my name. But after 81, the world slowly starts to shrink. Not in one dramatic moment, but piece by piece. The cafe closes, your walking route feels too long, the grocery store feels louder, more rushed. The friends who used to drop by stop calling, the neighbors move. The streets you knew get replaced by unfamiliar buildings, and you're left wondering when the world changed so much and why no one told you it was happening. It's not that you can't go out, it's just that more and more you ask yourself, is it worth the effort? That quiet question, asked once or twice, becomes your new normal. And soon, without deciding, you stop going. Gaze blur. The walls of your home begin to feel like the edges of your world. And you grieve not just people, but places, routines, sounds, even smells. That's a grief people don't talk about enough. The grief of familiarity fading. I remember Harold, 84, who told me about the little bookstore downtown he used to visit. "That place saved me," he said. "Every week I'd walk there, sit by the window with a mystery novel. Now it's a frozen yogurt shop and my knees can't handle the walk anyway." When he told me that, I saw tears in his eyes, not over the bookshop, but over what it represented. Freedom, identity, belonging. But here's the truth that gives me hope. Even as your outer world shrinks, your inner world can still grow. Deep conversations, a new pen pal, learning something you never had time for before. The depth of one meaningful exchange can replace a dozen shallow ones. You can create new rhythm in small routines. Watering a plant, journaling, calling one friend every Thursday. The world may look smaller, but it's still alive, and you are still part of it. So walk a shorter path if you must. Sit on a different bench. Order groceries online, but write a note to the delivery guy. Talk to your grandchild about your childhood. Tell a young nurse the story behind that scar on your hand. The shrinking of your world isn't a signal that you're fading. It's about reframing life, not by pretending things are the same, but by asking, what still brings me joy? Who still hears me? What part of me still lights up? That's where meaning lives now. That's where hope still breathes. Now, if you're still with me and these words are resonating with something inside you, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here, for listening, for reflecting. Because these aren't just my thoughts. They're elderly reflection. They're truths shaped by years of watching, loving, losing, and continuing on anyway. Have you ever woken up one morning and felt like your body no longer recognizes you? I don't mean just the usual aches and stiffness. I mean the way your legs feel hesitant when they used to feel sure. The way your hands sometimes fumble with buttons. Or how the walk to the mailbox feels a bit longer than yesterday. That, my friend, is the fifth truth we have to face after 81. Your body no longer follows the rules it used to live by. And what's worse, it doesn't warn you when it changes the rules. Some mornings I wake up clear-headed, feeling sharp, strong, like I could tackle the day. I think this is a good day, and then the next morning, it's as if gravity is stronger. My knees argue with me, my breath is shorter, and even the act of standing up takes negotiation. And I ask myself, why today? There's no answer. And that's the hardest part, the unpredictability. You start to question everything. Should I take that walk? Should I go to the store alone? What if I get dizzy again like last week? This isn't just physical, it's mental. When your body becomes unpredictable, it chips away at something deeper. Your confidence. You used to go out without a second thought. Now you hesitate, not because you're afraid of the world, but because you're unsure of your own footing in it. I remember bending down to tie my shoelace last winter, and for a moment, I wondered if I'd be able to get back up. And just like that, a small act became a moment of fear. That shook me, not because it hurt, but because it reminded me that I'm no longer the man I used to be. But here's what I want to say to you, and what I have to keep reminding myself of every single day. Just because your body is inconsistent doesn't mean your spirit has to be. You are still the one in charge. And your new strength, it's not in pushing through, it's in adapting. Flexibility becomes your armor, preparation becomes your superpower. You begin to understand your rhythms, to respect your limits, and to build your days with more gentleness. And that, my friend, is not weakness, that is wisdom. Let me tell you about David. He's 85 now, used to be a marathon runner in his 60s, always pushing, always moving. When his knees gave out, he was devastated. I feel like I've lost part of who I am, he told me. But after months of frustration, he did something remarkable. He didn't just accept his limits, he redesigned his life around them. He started morning stretches, switched to swimming, got a mobility scooter for longer errands, and scheduled naps like appointments. And he told me, I feel more in control now than I did when I was pretending nothing had changed. That stayed with me. Because pretending you're still 60 doesn't make you strong. It makes you tired, and tired is when the real danger shows up. Falls, exhaustion, illness. So if your body is changing, and believe me, it is, then change with it. Not in defeat, in respect. Let it guide you, but don't let it silence you. Talk to your doctor, not just when something's wrong, but to understand how your body works now. Listen to the fatigue, listen to the hunger. Listen to the swelling in your feet, the tightness in your back, the fog in your head. Your body is not broken, it's just asking for more partnership. And that partnership, my friend, can give you a better life than blind resilience ever could. Now let me close with something I wish someone had said to me years ago. Reaching your 80th doesn't mean you've become less. It means you've become more. You've carried decades of life through wars, heartbreaks, births, mistakes, laughter, and grief. You have become a walking archive of human experience. That is no small thing. But aging comes with truths, and we've talked about 5 of them. The shrinking circle of friends, the fragility of health, the way the world stops seeing you, the narrowing of your daily life, and the unpredictable nature of your body. Each one of these can feel like a storm on its own, but you're still here, which means you've weathered those storms, or maybe you're still walking through them. Either way, you are not walking alone. Here in this space, Elderly Reflections, you are seen, you are understood, you are respected, and if no one else is saying this to you, let me be the one who does. You still have something to offer, a story, a lesson, a kindness, a memory. Even your quiet presence is a form of inspiration. So don't hide it. Don't shrink yourself to fit the silence. Expand in wisdom, in grace, in purpose. Because the world may move fast, but those who slow down enough to hear you, they will be changed. So I ask you now, what truth resonated most with you today? Was it the loneliness, the health, the fear of being forgotten? Whatever it is, I want you to take one small action this week. Call someone, write something down, take that walk slowly, speak your story, and most of all, be kind to yourself. You are living a chapter that many never reach, and that, my friend, is a miracle worth honoring. Before we part today, please do me a small favor. If this video spoke to you, if even one sentence made you feel seen, click that subscribe button, turn on the bell, not because it helps us, but because it helps you stay connected to a space where your voice still matters. And leave a comment below. Let us know where you're watching from, your room, your city, your country, because maybe, just maybe, someone a few miles or a few oceans away will read it and feel a little less alone. And that is the power of reflection. Thank you for spending this time with me. Stay strong, stay tender, and until next time, keep walking even if it's slowly. You're not done yet. Subscribe to Elderly Reflections for more stories, senior wisdom, quotes, elderly health tips, and meaningful conversations. Where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments below.